The historic Bellamy Bridge is a steel frame bridge that was built in 1914 and located on the outskirts of Marianna, Florida, on the sites of earlier wooden bridges dating back to 1840. It is one of the oldest bridges in Florida and was used as a crossing point on the upper Chipola River for hundreds of years. Originally, it was a wooden bridge built by Dr. Samuel Bellamy at the site in 1840 and where the historic bridge gets its name. The original structure was replaced several times over the years due to deterioration and flood damage. The County Commissioners of Jackson County authorized the construction of the steel frame bridge in 1914, and it was even used at one time by motorized traffic until the 1960s. The Bellamy Heritage Trail is a 1/2 mile nature trail through the swamps that lead to the second oldest steel bridge in Florida, the Bellamy Bridge. It is also considered to be one of the most haunted places in the state of Florida. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're a first-time viewer, I'm happy you found me. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, and click the notifications for new content. Again, welcome, and let's get into the story. The first recorded crossing of the river in the area was by the expedition of Spanish explorer Marcus Delgado in 1686. He reported leaving what is now called Blue Springs and passing around the head of a smaller spring, Botsell Spring, before arriving at the Chipola River. There the water was about 6 feet deep and the horses and men were able to swim across. The vicinity of the Bellamy Bridge is the only area on the upper Chipola River that matches the geographic descriptions of Delgado's journal. During the First Seminole War of 1817 to 1818, the people of the lower creek town of Aconachate used the area along the west side of the Chipola River as a hiding place for both themselves and their livestock. Their primary town was to the east at Neal's Landing on the Chattahoochee River. However, in March of 1818, U.S. forces under Brigadier General William McIntosh attacked their camp on the Chipola River, killing 10 warriors and capturing more than 180 men, women, and children. This historical event is known as the Battle of the Upper Chipola, and military reports indicate it took place on the west side of the river, 2 miles below the forks of the creek where the Chipola is formed. The Bellamy Bridge Heritage Trail is located at the same distance below the forks, and the battlefield is considered to be somewhere in the general area. The future site of the bridge remained an important crossing point as early settlers came into the region beginning around 1819. Dr. Edward C. Bellamy purchased the land where Bellamy Bridge stands today and moved there with his wife Anne in 1836. He was the brother-in-law of Elizabeth Bellamy, who was also the sister of his wife Anne. It is considered by many to be one of the most haunted bridges in Florida, if not the most haunted bridge in Florida, as some believe. The ghost story revolves around Elizabeth Bellamy, who died at the age of 18 in Marianna. Eyewitness accounts of strange occurrences and sightings of her apparition date back to the 1800s. Many say her restless spirit haunts the bridge and the swamp where it is located, and believe she is in search for her beloved husband, Dr. Samuel C. Bellamy, who committed suicide in 1853. Local legend says that she died on her wedding night on May 11, 1837, after her wedding dress caught fire, and that she ran to the bridge and jumped into the upper Chipola, causing her death. Her husband, Dr. Samuel Bellamy, who never remarried, fell into a life of despair, becoming an alcoholic, and eventually ended his own life from the grief he suffered from that of Elizabeth's death and the death of their child, Alexander. And 3 days after Christmas in 1853, he took his own life at the ferry landing in Chattahoochee, Florida, after he slit his own throat with a razor. But the truth is, Samuel and Elizabeth were married in North Carolina, where Elizabeth was from, in 1834, 3 years before the date of Elizabeth's death. They moved to Marianna, Florida, and the couple even had a son, Alexander, who was born in 1835. In reality, Samuel, Elizabeth, and their young son, Alexander, all contracted malaria. While Samuel would pull through and survive, his young wife and son would not. Elizabeth died on May 11, 1937, from the disease, and 18-month-old Alexander died 7 days later. The one truth about this legend is that Samuel Bellamy did die in 1853 by committing suicide. Unfortunately, in those days, if you committed suicide, you were not given proper status in the church, and he was buried in an unmarked grave in Chattahoochee and forgotten. Elizabeth is buried in the private family cemetery located on the private property side of the bridge where public is not allowed. So, you can see where the legend comes from. Apparently, these two were very much in love, and even though he died after her, perhaps her spirit now haunts the place in search of him, since he was given a disgraceful burial and not beside her in the family plot. Here are some photos taken that some believe is the apparition of Elizabeth. Many have reported different vision from orbs, unexplained light sources, mists, and fogs. In addition, some have claimed atmosphere changes such as a sudden chill, even in the midst of a Florida summer heat. Here is a photo of the former Bellamy Mansion. The mansion was built by Dr. Samuel Bellamy for his bride. He never lived there, but it passed through several hands before being torn down sometime in the 60s. Samuel Bellamy could never bring himself to live in the home after the death of his wife and son. This is the home he built for his beloved wife, where she was said to have caught her veil from her wedding gown on fire from a lit candelabra, then jumped into the river where she died, and far from the truth. For over 100 years, people have made claims that at times they have experienced a disgruntled, unpleasant, and restless spirit. Not only is the story about her death far from truth, but she only lived to be a young wife and mother of 18 years, who in reality lost her life to malaria, followed by her young son, and leaving behind the heartbroken love of her life, who lived with the overwhelming pain until he could no longer bear it and ended up taking his own life, then ultimately being denied to rest beside his family. So, if her spirit does indeed haunt the area surrounding the Bellamy Bridge, I can't think of a better recipe for a vengeful spirit. However, on a positive note, in recent years, people have said they feel a more calming presence when encountering her spirit. So one can only hope the three found each other in the afterlife and are now at peace. Okay, so we're here at the Bellamy Bridge Heritage Trail, which is located in Marianna, Florida. And it's a history in nature on the upper Chipola River. The Bellamy Bridge Heritage Trail is a 1/2 mile long walking path that leads from this point to historic Bellamy Bridge, which we will show you. There's also a legend that, and I'll read it to you, the ghost of Bellamy Bridge. The legend of the ghost of Bellamy Bridge is one of Florida's best known ghost stories. It revolves around the tragic death of a young woman during the antebellum era. Elizabeth Jane Croom Bellamy was 18 years old when she died and was buried nearby on May 11, 1837. She was the daughter of a general of the War of 1812 and granddaughter of an officer of the American Revolution. According to legend, Elizabeth haunts the vicinity of Bellamy Bridge in search of her long-lost husband. Newspaper reports of sightings of the Lady of Bellamy Bridge date back to at least 1890. She is usually described as either the misty figure of a woman in white or as a dim blue light. And the picture's really messed up, but here are some of the pictures here, but we're actually going to take you to the actual bridge. And I'm here with my bud, Say hello, Mark.
Well, hello.
All right, are you ready to do this trip?
I sure am.
How long did it say? About a
Half a mile.
Or a mile and a half? Okay, yeah, we can do that. All right, so here's where it starts. And we start it right here. Ooh. Really perfect day to do this. It's not raining. Pretty blue skies. Of course, we're in the woods, so coming into a little open patch where you can see that. And these are swamp lands, so you have to worry about, moccasins and snakes. So be on the lookout for that. Okay, we're having to go down this trail and we're seeing a lot of mud holes, so it's really muddy and we're having to come around. It's basically just a trail. It's supposed to lead up to several other bridges before we get to the end and the Bellamy Bridge. So we're just going to keep traveling along until we get to each one and walking through these mud holes. Maybe I won't fall. Okay, we just tried to capture a deer, and of course I missed it before I could get it on. Maybe we'll see another one. I mean, the second you said there's a deer trap, I looked up and saw a deer, but it ran. So shoot. If I didn't have to put a code in my phone, I would have gotten it. That's my luck. There's mosquitoes out here because they're biting me. But yeah, the deer was right up here and he scurried off into the swamp. But maybe we'll see another one. Okay, I think we're coming up to one of those first ruins of one of those bridges that we're talking about. The Bellamy Bridge is the last bridge, and that's the last stop. You can't go any further. How are we going to traverse this? We're gonna have to go this way. It's muddy. Following Mark. I hope we don't get lost out here. Oh my God, the mosquitoes are really bad. I keep hitting this because I'm hoping we'll catch another deer. We probably won't be that lucky. It's mosquitoes.
Oh no.
They usually don't bite me. They just land on me. I don't think they like my blood. I guess we have to traverse this crap. Wow. Okay. I just want y'all to know what we're doing right now is a bit iffy. I'm not even sure if you'll see me again after this video. Wish me luck. Okay, I just want to let you know I made it. I have to go back that way too, so. Okay, what's next? Do you see a trail?
That way, Mom. This way.
You think it's that way? Okay, I think you're right. Okay, we have made it. To the Bellamy Bridge. Built in the 1800s. People used to go across this bridge. No longer. Chipola River, the upper Chipola River. We're at the Bellamy Bridge Heritage Trail. This is the Bellamy Bridge. On the upper Chipola River. When the first Spanish explorers arrived in Jackson County during the 1670s, the upper Chipola River was home to the Chateau or Chateau. You try saying it. Indians. Today we say Native Americans. Just as their predecessors had done for thousands of years, those Native Americans that I just mentioned used the river as a source for food. It provided fish and shellfish for their cook fires, and its wide floodplain swamps offered excellent hunting for deer, bear, possum, squirrel, and other game animals. The many springs that feed the river also provided an abundance of clear, fresh water. Water has gotten into the markers that tell you about the place, and some of it's a little faded out. It says something about the Marcos Delgado expedition of 1686. The first known Europeans to see this vicinity were the soldiers and friars who accompanied Marcos Delgado on his expedition from Mission San Luis, present-day Tallahassee, to the Upper Creeks, who lived near what is now Montgomery, Alabama. The Spanish had heard rumors of a French intrusion into their territory, and Delgado was sent to investigate the rumors and send the French away. He left Mission San Luis in August 1686 with 10 Spanish soldiers, 1 Choctaw interpreter, and 40 Apache Indian warriors. 20 of the Appalachians carried firearms, while the other half of the team was armed with bows and arrows. Delgado crossed the Apalachicola River into what is now Jackson County and halted briefly at a Mission San Carlos, the westernmost of Florida's Spanish missions. It stood on a hilltop near Sneed's and is now tour stop number 3 on the Jackson County Spanish Heritage Trail. From San Carlos, Delgado and his followers marched on September 2nd, 1686 to Blue Springs. From there, he turned north and marched around the head of Hayes Springs before turning west to approach the Chipola River. He crossed the river in the vicinity of today's Bellamy Bridge, describing it as a clayey swamp, and in its center a stream which has 36 feet of width and a depth of 6 feet, and the swamp itself has a half a league of breadth. It is thick, and it was necessary to cut a path. The Battle of the Upper Chipola, which is this river right here. During the First Seminole War of 1817 to 1818, which took place during Florida's Second Spanish era, an important battle was fought in this vicinity. General William McIntosh and the 1st Creek Brigade, a force made up of Creek warriors who had enlisted to fight for the U.S., attacked the temporary camp established by, I can't say that word. Anyway, his men were dead and were prisoners, and the ones that weren't were prisoners of war. McIntosh's men also seized over 150 women and children from the chief's band. McIntosh sent out a small force to track them down, and a second battle was fought somewhere south of this point, but the chief still managed to elude capture. So it also says that this heritage trail was opened in November of 2012. I'm not reading anything about the Elizabeth, not on this sign. Apparently her ghost will appear at night here as a blue mist, or who knows, if you believe in that. I believe anything's possible, and if many people have sworn they've seen it, then I tend to believe because I've had my own experiences. So sure, maybe it's residual, you know. It's not too hard of a walk. It's not too long of a walk. I'm not saying hard because that last part to get here was a little hard. And we got to go across it again. Okay, I'm going to come around to the other side. Somebody's having trouble with their truck on the other side, which is the private property. So, yeah, here's a better shot. Again, this bridge is called Bellamy Bridge in Marianna, Florida. Was built in the 1800s, and it's supposed to be one of Florida's most haunted places. Elizabeth Bellamy was 18 years old when she committed suicide. I believe she jumped from this bridge. Is that what we read? But if I'm wrong about that, I'll correct it later. Be cool to find out where she's buried at. The sign said she was buried in a cemetery near here, along with her baby who died. Her husband, no, I'm sorry, her baby died of yellow fever? Something like that. I'm sorry if I'm messing this up. I'll fix it later. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm not videoing. Okay, I'm gonna take your picture. What? What was that? You can say what?
I sat on the Bellamy Bridge.
He did. On that bridge right there. But not me.
What's left of the bridge anyway.
So somebody inscribed a message over here. It says, I don't know when it was written. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do by then the things you did. Whatever you do, do not drop my phone.
I will not.
You got long arms. We made it.
We're alive.
We're still alive. Still got to get off this stupid tree trunk. It's like being in The Walking Dead. Zombies gonna come out any second now. Oh, there's our zombies. Oh my God, my mom's calling. Again. Yeah. Ew, it smells like a dead body in the swamp.
Yeah, probably from a lady from the 1800s.
Nah, it smells a little fresher than that.
She probably thought it was perfume.
Oh, that's gross. The breeze feels good until it doesn't. I don't think that Elizabeth likes us too well.
Why?
Well, I guess she does. She made us safely almost out of here.
We still on the bridge.
Yeah.
She didn't push me off.
No, she didn't.
So I'm hungry.
For new content and breaking news stories, please be sure to click the notifications to follow along and be notified when updates are available. Don't forget to like, comment, and please feel free to share. You can also join my Facebook group for True Crime and History Time and follow me on TikTok and Instagram. My usernames for those platforms are @JerryScarborough Official. And as always, thank you for watching, subscribing, and supporting my channel.